Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to discuss how to make a short label bow. So the things which we require for a short label bow are ideal cast, a 20 gauge wire, marking pencil as well as a normal pencil, universal plier and a wire cutter. So coming on to the design of a short label bow, how it is made is that it extends from the mesial 1/3 of the canine to the other mesial 1/3 of the canine, and it passes through the junction of the middle and incisal third of all the teeth. It lies in the junction of the middle and incisal third. From the canine, from the mesial 1/3, it goes down and goes approximately 2 to 3 millimeters under the gingival margin, and it loops back and ends in the palate. Same way on the other side. This is how it is supposed to be made. So the first and foremost thing which we have to do is we have to get the wire in the shape of an arch form. How to do that is, if you've seen my previous videos where I've also showed how to get the wire into an arch form, is that hold the wire with the help of a plier, and with a pencil you apply a pulling force on this side, and with the finger apply a pushing force. So it's a 3-point contact, and just keep bending it 2-3 times. Okay. You should be very cautious that you shouldn't get any kinks in the wire. So the first step of our label bow is already done. Okay. So we'll keep it over here, and I usually like to finish one side of the label bow and then start with the other. Some people like to start both the sides together, so it is up to you. So stabilize the wire over here and do a small mark on one side of the label bow. Now wherever you have to make the bend, you have to hold the plier 1 millimeter before that and hold it like this, after which you just have to bend it, or before that actually, you hold it over here and straighten out this wire, just little straight, not very straight. Relatively you should make it a little straight, and then hold the plier like this, not from the round side but from the side where it has a sharp bend. Hold it like this and keep everything in the same plane, because if you keep the wire like this and then if you bend it down, then it won't give you the desirable bend. So you have to keep it in the same plane, see the marking, and then just bend it down. You have to make a 90-degree bend out of it. So right now we can see it's not completely 90, so I'll bend a little more. Okay, so now first we'll examine that how did it go. We'll keep it over here, and right now because of this obstruction we're not able to see that how has it happened. So we'll actually have to continue with the bends. We'll only be able to examine it once we're done with this loop. Fine. So this bend also we've made according to it should be around 2 to 3 millimeters below the gingival third. Now you have to take the round side and hold it tight just 1 millimeter before, and on the third serration, just keeping everything in plane. Now you bend it along the arch form, because sometimes if you don't bend it along the arch form, it won't if you don't bend it along the arch form, the arch form will get disturbed. Now there's no problem if you bend it a little up or down, you can easily adjust that thing. Okay, so here we go. I'll keep it over here. We can see that I've bent it a little down by mistake, or rather it's actually okay, but it's extending too much ahead. So what I have to do is I'll have to make the bend a little narrower. How do we do that is we hold this over here and rotate it and then press it a little bit, and then you have to open it back, a little bit of compression, and then from the loop just open it a little bit. And also you can see that this bend is not 90 anymore, so we'll just make it 90 degrees. Fine, better than before. Now we'll examine. It's still a little forward, but this we can adjust by bending this wire itself. So you can just hold it over here and bend it inwards. Fine, because we want it anyways to go near the embrasure. So now as you can see that it has gone into the embrasure. It is lying in the middle third and it has come near the embrasure. You should also be cautious that this wire is not touching the gingival, that we'll see later on, like we'll address that issue later. So once this part is done, now you make a small point over here where you want it to bend inside. Okay. Now you hold the plier tightly and just bend it inwards. Okay, so this is how it goes. Now once you're done with that, you can see that it is fitting decently over here. It has this wire is a little long, so I'll cut this excess part from here. Whenever you're cutting, you just have to be cautious of the part which is going to fly off, so just hold that part. Okay, so this is how it should be on one side before you start the other. Now before starting the other side, just make the corrections which you require on the label bow. इसको एक बार correct कर लिया. So after that, from the top you can see कि it is sitting decently, and now you make a small mark this side. This side you have to make a small mark. The same thing which we did on the other side, you have to do that. Hold this over here. Same, everything in arch. Be very cautious. First you have to straighten the wire a little bit. So we straighten the wire. Now press it down 90 degrees. Okay, see both the bends, are they matching or not? If not, adjust one of them, preferably this one, because this one is almost over. Now the second, after this, what you do is again the same exercise which we did. Right now it won't fit over here, so you have to estimate a little bit that where you have to actually bend, and you can even compare it from this side. Suppose for example I have bent it around 7 to 8 millimeters from here. On this side as well, I will make a mark around 7 to 8 millimeters. Fine. Again on the third serration, you hold it over here. Fine. And then keep everything in plane. Keep everything in plane and just bend it. This time I purposely made a little narrow bend because I knew that last time I had made the mistake. So you can also see that if you see from the top, this side is properly in the arch form, but this is going a little out. So when you place it also, you can see that this is going out. So what you have to do is you have to just bend it in. This part, hold it with the plier and just bend it in. Now you can see that it's in the arch form. Fine. Okay, so just bend it a little more here. Now थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा हो गया. Yeah, so now we're almost done here. Fine, this is how we want it to look. This is coming up over here, it's a little tight. So this is how you want it to look as of now. Now what you have to do is you have to adjust this end. Because this one is also going out of the arch, you have to just get it back in. Now you have to see whether it's fitting properly or not. This part is touching the gingiva, so just relieve it a little bit. This side looks fine. On the other hand, this side is going a little down. So what you have to do is you have to make certain bends in the arch wire itself so that it can be adjusted. Because if we don't do that and if we give this bend, then once you've given the bend for the embrasure, it cannot be changed. So all these adjustments have to be done right now itself. Okay, so now if you can see, it is sitting in the embrasure, it's in the junction of middle and incisal third, and this is also correct. So I will just press it a little more down on this side, and now if we hold it here, see, this is how it is sitting. Fine. What you have to do now is that you have to bend it down over here, this side. Make a mark, same how we have done on the other side. Sharp end. And then just bend it inside. Again, this wire will be long, so I am cutting it beforehand. You have to keep it in seat. Fine, this side it's sitting fine, it's in the middle and incisal third, and it is sitting this side also perfectly. Now we just have to adjust the back part, and you have to see to it that this is touching the incisal surfaces. So just open it up a little bit, then you can see that it will start touching the incisal surfaces better than before. Now just bend this part in. And make a small retentive tag over here. Also bend this part in. Ouch. You have to be cautious with the wire bending, because if something slips, then it might cause an injury. So just be a little cautious. Okay, this part is done. Now we keep it here. You have to bend it further down on this side as well as this side, or sometimes you can just use your fingers. and now we'll see whether it's sitting. So only this part is a little out, so if you want to correct that, okay, so you can see that only this part is a little up. So what you have to do is only close these two loops a little bit and close this, open it up a little bit. Fine. So now you can see that it is sitting properly, and this is how your labial bow should look. A little minor adjustments still have to be done. But this is how your labial bow should actually look, and it should be passive as well. Now certain viva questions which they may ask you is that why do we give the loop position over here? You can answer by saying that the middle third of the center of resistance of the canine lies around 2 to 3 millimeters below the gingival margin. So that is why you want the loop to be placed over here, as well as other things which they can ask is where do we use it. So it can be used in closing midline diastema spaces, and otherwise in Hawley's appliances just as a retainer. The disadvantages for this are that when the patient bites wearing this, or otherwise also when it is activated, so this creates this specific bend over here, creates a wedging force between the canine and premolar. And also one more thing which they might ask is how do we activate it. So we activate it by closing these loops and closing this loop as well. So that is something which we have to do in the active appliance. If you activate the labial bow while it is not in an appliance, just like that, so there is a high chance that it will not fit. So the activation has to be done once it is part of the acrylic component. So this is how your labial bow should look. That's all for this video. Thank you so much guys. Subscribe for more, and do put in the comments what all do you want to see next. Bye bye.